Hello, everyone. It is me, Miss Crystal. And welcome back to Miss Crystal's podcast program. And you might have noticed that I did not start the cameras today, and that's because I had my assistant do that. Because I have my heating pad perfectly put in my back, and I didn't want to get up. Usually I like to turn it on because it makes me feel as if I'm in control. And now I feel out of control. So out of control that I want to say, welcome back to episode number, but unfortunately, or I would say fortunately, I had a guest last week and I wanted to move that episode because we had a show. So this could be 6, this could be 7, this could be 8. So I'll say, hey, welcome back to episode. And then I'll just insert it later. A fake, like a AI number, like 5. Anyway, welcome to Safety Man. Thanks for coming, Safety Man. He's wearing a nice wig that looks perhaps like he is Justin Bieber or somebody like that. And thanks for all your comments on my videos. I've been reading them. Sometimes I'll put a video out and then 1 second later, someone's writing, yay, Miss Crystal's here. Y'all know. That means you have the button, the bell pushed. Because if the bell pushed, it'll say, Miss Crystal's program is on right now. Yeah, I got a little bit of cough. And that's because I went to a place called Los Angeles. And there was a lot of people there and a lot of people coughing on the airplane and a lot of people sneezing. So guess what? I'm ill. I'm sneezing, coughing, throat hurts, taking Mucinex. Spoiler alert to Aiden. He didn't know I was sick. What is my takeaway on LA? Too many people, too many cars, too much honking. Stop honking your horns. Stop it. I know this is the second time I've talked about horns, but I've never wanted to commit homicide more than I have wanted to since coming back from LA. If you're at a light and the light changes and you're already honking at me, you have issues. You have the emotional intelligence and maturity of an infant child. That's something an infant would do, is honk. Stop honking. My nervous system is still not regulated from hearing the honks of LA drivers. I'm sorry that you're in a rush. I'm sorry that you have to get to your Hollywood audition. I'm sorry that you're going to your Scientology meeting. Do not honk at me. You can see that I am an elderly woman. My reflexes are just a tad bit slower than they used to be. Again, stop honking your horns. I might even go so far as to say horns should be banned. Yeah, if you see a little kid running across the street and you're about to run over them, give them a little burp just to alert them so they can run the other way. Or maybe a dog or a deer is in the road and you want to honk. But if you're at a stoplight, turning left or right or going straight and you're honking at someone, you need to check yourself into a mental hospital. If you're that angry because somebody's not turning at the speed of lightning, you have issues. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I will reiterate it one more time. Stop honking your horn. Someone told me a rumor, and I don't know if it's true, I haven't fact checked it, that in New York City proper, horns have been banned. And we should follow suit. because the last time I was in New York, I promised to never return because there was nonstop honking. And I know I said I was done talking about this, but I'm not now because I'm thinking, is the honking doing anything? Is it making someone go faster? Is it making someone turn quicker? What I think it's doing is alarming people. It's alarming people and causing them to slow down because they're trying to figure out what the heck's going on. Now I'm done talking about it. Stop honking your damn horns. I think you know how people go around stealing it's a Cadillac converter or something like that. People should go around and steal horns from every car in the whole world so that I never have to hear honking again. That's all I'll say about that. Before I began this program today, I said to myself, I'm not going to complain today. And it's the first 5 minutes, and guess what? Only complaints. So let's think of something good that happened. You got to balance the bad with the good. When I get a bad comment and I respond to it, I say, okay, I responded to this bad comment and I'm going to respond to at least 3 more good comments, 3 to 5 to balance it out. What happened in LA that was good? Well, I got some pictures taken at Tom's 1 hour photo. Beautiful pictures. If you don't know the story of Tom's 1 hour photo, it is a gentleman that has a little photo studio in, I believe it's Koreatown, and he's had it there for 20, 30 years. And he, back in the day, getting 1 hour photos was the only way to get photo. You didn't have your phone and take a picture. You had to take pictures on a camera, take that film to somewhere and get it developed. So I guess business has not been booming for Tom for many years because people don't get pictures developed anymore. Well, then this gal named Kacey Musgrave, she's a singer, stopped in his little studio to take some pictures because he has some beautiful backgrounds that he has painted himself. He's got hearts, clouds, a couple of trees, just all kind of different Playboy bunnies. And these were pictures that were popular in the 90s. You'd go in, get your picture taken, in front of it like this. Well, Kacey Musgraves went in and got her picture taken. And guess what? Business is booming for Tom. She changed Tom and his wife's name, Lisa. He changed their life because their business is booming. You got to make an appointment. You just can't show up there now. People want these pictures so bad, and if you see them, you'll know why. Well, I chose the cloud background because I had a pink shirt, and I thought, let me look dreamy. And Tom, for some reason, Tom is kind of bossy. He can be bossy sometimes, and he'll say, no smile, show teeth, glasses off. I said, Tom, I can't take my glasses off. I want my pictures with my glasses on. Anyway, Tom got some incredible shots of me. A couple I'm going to frame. A couple I've already sent off to make keychains for when I go on tour. I'm getting a big picture that's an 8x10 that I can write, Love Miss Crystal. And I'm going to be selling those at the Trailer Trash Tammy merch stand on the Loose Lips tour. If you want tickets to the Loose Lips tour, go to eatmytrash.com. And that's a real website. Why did Tammy pick that name of the website? I have no idea. I guess Tammy.com was taken. So she said, well, let me get eatmytrash.com. That's where the tour is going to be. And I'll be at every single show. Wherever it is, I'll be there. What was I getting at? Oh, yes. New headshots. New keychains. New what's it called? The thing you put on your canned koozies. All going to be there for you to purchase at affordable pricing. I'm not doing a huge markup, even though every time we go to a theater, the theater's like, hey, we're taking 10 to 20% of your merch sales for no reason at all. Okay. It's in the contract. Can't change it. So that's something good that happened. Also, I ate Din Tai Fung approximately 5 times. Din Tai Fung is a Taiwanese restaurant that has the most delicious soup dumplings that you'll ever have. If you have a chance to go there, please go. They're in California, Seattle, Portland, and that's about it. Or New York. And I think they're opening one in Canada. We went approximately 4 times, I think, and then I went once by myself. And usually when you go, not usually, but when you go, you order family style because you each take a little bit of everything. Well, when I went by myself, it's weird to order 6 to 7 items, but I did. And I had leftovers. And at one point when the guy brought me something, he goes, look at you taking care of yourself going out to eat. And I said, thank you for not judging me, sir. And he said, never. Because they understand that's food's the best food in the world. What else good happened? Well, I can tell you something else bad that happened. The Airbnb host did not put clean sheets on my bed. No clean sheets, no clean pillowcases, and definitely no clean comforter. So I went with Paige Jen to the store and bought a sleeping bag, and I slept in that. Imagine me in a sleeping bag zipped up. Best sleep I've ever had. And I could not bring it home in my suitcase because my suitcase was packed to the gills, so I sent it via UPS for $50. That should be arriving any day now. And with the conclusion of the updates I just gave you and all of the complaints, that will bring me up to Hunk of the Week. Today's Hunk of the Week is someone that I got to spend some quality time with in Los Angeles. Only met him one other time, but we were friends on AOL and MySpace for a few years. He is not only hilarious, funny, kind, but he's also hot. And his name is Ian Fidance. Did I say finance? No, because his name isn't Ian Finance. He's not a financial advisor. He's not a guy that works at H&R Block. His name is Fidance, like finance, but Fidance. I finally got to see this man on stage, and let me just say, my cheeks, both sets of my cheeks hurt from laughing. He included some singing. He included some moving around on stage. These are all things I love. If you're just singing for no reason, I'm going to like it. Also, he smokes cigarettes, and he's unapologetic about it. He says, yeah, I smoke, and I'm not going to quit. And that's the attitude I wish I could take. Because I love smoking. Everyone knows that. And guess what? The new neighbors here at the studio are home. And you know how I know? Because they're children and all they do is scream. That's all they do. They scream in the front yard. They scream in the backyard. So I'm very upset about that. The last thing in the world I want to be around is a child. And there are multiple children that run constantly, setting off my Ring cam and my bird cam in the back. Don't set off the bird cam. I'm trying to look at birds, not children running. Anyway, back to Ian Fidance. Then he took us to a place called Swingers, which is a restaurant in Los Angeles. Very cool, very trendy, lots of cool people. And while we were sitting there eating, one of his fans came over and said, "Hey, I'm a huge fan. Can I please get a picture with you?" And I thought, that is really nice. They said, we're fans of Cumtown. And I said, what the heck is a Cumtown? And apparently it was a podcast about coming, I guess. I don't know. Maybe a whole town of people that just come all the time. But I'm going to put some pictures of him because when you look at him, you're going to say, yes, that is a cool guy that loves smoking cigarettes. That just looks cool. You hear those children? You're not going to hear them, but I can, and Aiden can. And I'm getting angry, and I want to go out there and scream, "Get the hell out of here, kid." But I'm not going to because I'm talking about Ian Fidance. Ian Fidance, let's have a romance. I want to be your number one guy or gal. Ian Fidance, Ian Fidance, let's get together and dance. Ian Fidance, Ian Fidance, can we start a romance? Ian Fidance, Ian Fidance, let's dance. I should have sang a ska song because I think he likes ska music, and I hate ska music. That's the one thing can't get along with him. The reason I hate ska music is because I hate horns. Out of every instrument in the world, I hate horns. I like a violin. I like a guitar. I like a string instrument. I like a wooded instrument. But you start playing a trumpet in my ear, I'm going to go ballistic. Now, I used to really, really hate horns. But now that I am involved with Latino men, I'm coming to appreciate more of a horn. But when I hear a ska song and they're playing a horn, I want to turn it off. And they do some things like skanking or something. I don't know all this talk for ska. Everything's perfect about Ian except the ska music. And I'm not going to judge him because he likes ska music because everybody has different taste. I'm just not going to be able to listen to ska music with him. If he says to me, "Hey, you want to go to a ska music festival with me? And I'd say, absolutely not. Never. And if he said, "I'll give you $50,000 if you go to a all-day ska festival with me out in the heat, sitting on a lawn chair," and I'll say, "I love you, Ian, but no, absolutely not." And if he says, "Okay, what about 100,000?" and I'd say, "Maybe." You compare, and I'm just now linking these things, how I hate car honking and how I hate ska music because there's horns. It wasn't until this moment that I put those things together. What is it about horns that I hate so much? It hurts my ears. That's what it is. What is ska music without a horn? I don't know. Pop music? Anyway, go check out Ian, and he has a new shirt out that is not only looks cool because it has him as the Morton Salt Girl, but also the brand of t-shirt he uses called Color Comfort or something like that. Comfort Colors is quality. It's not some bull crap, cheap polyester shirt. It is 100% cotton with, what's that called? Screen printing. It's not this thing that's going to come off. It's a nice shirt. And that's all I'll say about him. Go check him out. Next time he's in your city or town, go check him out. He does a podcast right now with, her name is Jordan. And I can't remember what it's called because I'm a terrible friend. Jordan Jensen, who is another incredible comic. She's so damn fast. And that will be the concluding of Hunk of the Week. Congratulations to Ian Fidance. Give him a round of applause in the comments. Looking out of the side of my eye, not quite a half an hour yet. Are we going to make it? And that'll bring me to the next segment. It's called Figuring Out the Figurine. I was going to say Figurine of the Week. That's not what it's called. Figuring Out the Figurine. Today's figurine is a precious moment. It's an official precious moment. This isn't a fake or a bootleg. On the bottom, it says, "You are the end of my rainbow." What does that mean? Does that mean you're my pot of gold? Does that mean you're so good you're like gold? Does it mean you are my everything? That's what we're trying to figure out. And it has a little child, and all the children in Precious Moments look exactly like this little child. Those eyes are meant to draw you in and make you think, do I need to donate money to someone, or do I need to adopt this child because they look sad? It has a little girl inside praying. Almost every Precious Moment figurine is praying because these are religious things. I don't know if you knew that. This is religious propaganda put in the form of a cute little child. She has a nice bow, and she's sitting in a pot of gold, praying. Now, if I was inside a pot of gold, I would not be praying. I would be gathering up all the gold to sell it at a pawn shop or other similar place. Because I've seen some pawn shops, they'll say, "We buy gold." Unfortunately, this little child is not, I'm not going to say smart enough. This little child is not worldly enough to know that she can take this big pile of coins here, golden coins, to a store, a pawn shop, and probably get anywhere from $50,000 to $60,000. That's a lot of gold. But instead, she's sitting there praying. There's a time and place for prayer. This isn't the time, little child. You should be gathering up your gold coins. And they look like they're just regular, everyday gold coins. It doesn't look like, sometimes when you watch the pirate movies, it'll have, is it called bullion? Gold bullion, or is that a chicken thing? I think that's a chicken spice. Anyway, I think these would be okay to take to the pawn shop. Like the pawn shop guy wouldn't be like, "Hey, let me see those. Are those from a pirate? We don't accept gold from a pirate." And I don't know why. Probably because they don't want to have any smoke with a pirate. Because you start taking pirates' gold, guess what? You might as well be taking gold from the mafia. Pirates do not play about their booty. I don't play about my booty. Pirates don't play about their booty. And I'm not talking about their buttocks. I'm talking about the stuff that they're stealing. Because that's what pirates do. Everybody thinks, oh, pirates are cool. They have a ship and they just go around and say things like, "Arr." That's not what pirates do. Pirates do things like steal from other boats. They steal internet programs. So let's say you want to get Adobe Photoshop, but you don't have the money because it's expensive. You contact your local pirate and he will get you a copy of that for way cheaper or even for free. Pirates aren't what you think they are. All these movies that you've seen, Captain Hook, the one with Johnny Depp, those are more, the Johnny Depp pirate is more like what pirates do. They steal, they pillage, they stink, most importantly. They're very stinky because they don't brush their teeth. Pirates don't bathe, they don't brush their teeth, they don't comb their hair. They're not having dreadlocks as a fashion choice. They're having dreadlocks because they've been on the high seas for months and haven't washed their hair. And you might say, well, they're surrounded by water. Why can't they take a bath? Because they're pirates. They don't have time for baths. They have time for stealing. And that's about it. I was going to say other things, but it's stealing. How did I get on that subject? Because we're trying to figure out why this little child is praying instead of taking this gold to a pawn shop. Maybe she knows that if she took this gold to a pawn shop, they will take her ID and they will take her picture. And if someone were to say, hey, I had a bunch of gold that's gone, they would come looking for you. So I'm saying if you're thinking about stealing somebody's VCR or DVD player and taking it to the pawn shop, guess what? If somebody reports it stolen, they're going to check all the pawn shops in your area. They're going to take your picture and they're going to know who stole it. And that's pretty much all I have figured out about this is this child should be at the pawn shop. If you have a pot of gold, don't sit in it. Take it. Get your riches. That's all I'm trying to say. What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think this little child should be doing. Not this. Keep looking out of the side of my eye. Man, time is at a standstill. Time is at an absolute standstill. Well, let's go ahead and listen to some voicemails. Voicemail, it's time for the voicemail. Time is frozen in time. All right, folks, here we go.
Hello, this is Crystal. Miss Crystal, this is Loretta Lowry. Back in '86, I don't know if you remember me, but we met on the program of The Price is Right. We tried to get on. We never got picked for the program, but you know, I feel so bad, Miss Crystal. You and I, in between commercial breaks, we were exchanging Jell-O mold recipes. And you know, Miss Crystal, you gave me the best recipe. And I feel so bad. I never got to give you mine. So you know what, honey? You call me back. We'll exchange those recipes and we'll reminisce. Oh, sweetie, I missed you. Call me back now. This is Loretta.
Wow, Loretta. You really sparked a memory in me. I forgot that I had tried to go on The Price is Right. It was 86. Price is Right had big prizes in the 80s. They had cars. They had trips. The same as they have now, but for some reason in the 80s, these prizes hit more. And that's because we were very poor, you know. Now, Loretta, I'm going to be honest. I do not remember exchanging Jell-O mold recipes with you. So the fact that you didn't give me one, that's fine. But what I do remember is there was another woman what we had to do is before you got on The Price is Right, y'all had to stand in a big line outdoors. And the guy would come down and ask you questions. And I'm wondering if you were the lady that was standing next to me the whole time, because he'd say, you know, what's the wildest thing that's ever happened to you in your life? Or do you love Bob Barker? You know, he'd ask you different questions just to kind of see your excitement level. Well, I had made up my own shirt, and this was before we had Cricket. So I got letters and it said, I will suck off Bob Barker, is what my shirt said. And he came by and read my shirt and he said, well, if you want to suck off Bob Barker, you got to suck me off first. And this was some intern, you know, he was probably 25. And I said, okay, let's do it. And he took me around the side and, you know, I did whatever. And needless to say, I was never called up to the stage by Bob Barker. And I never got to run down the aisle. And it turns out that this guy, this intern, was just some homeless man. It wasn't even one of Bob Barker's employees. But that's embarrassing. I've been trying to get on Price is Right ever since. I don't wear shirts like that anymore when I go. And of course, Bob Barker is dead, so I'll never see him. But thanks for your call, Loretta. That was quite a memory. And oh, thank God. Thank God. Let's ring the bell. Oh, Lord. We're ringing the bell, the 30-minute bell, 30-minute of product. And we're glad to be alive. So thank you for your call, Loretta. The fact that some of y'all call and are from my past and you bring up these memories that have long been forgotten, I just love it. I appreciate it. Because without your call, no one would have heard that story about me sucking off a random homeless guy to get on Price is Right and never ended up getting on there. Because when I got up there, this was my plan. When I get up to the showcase area, it wasn't the showcase showdown I'm thinking of. You know, where they sit in the front and he says, here's a vacuum cleaner. What's the price? I would wait till everybody else does their price. And then I would say $1. Because the person that says $1 always seems to win. That was going to be my method. But I never got to do that. Sadly. There is something on my ear. What is going on here? All right, this one won't play.
Hi, this is Crystal. My name is Chase, and I need some advice. I'm sorry, I'm so upset, but I've been with my boyfriend for about 2 years now, and we are talking about engagement. We live together, and the other night, we were getting, hot and heavy, doing what couples do. And all of a sudden, he had to stop. And he said, I have to go to the bathroom. And I thought, okay, maybe he has to take a shit. That's fine. But he was gone for about 15 minutes. And I thought, that's a really long shit. Mm-hmm. So I got up and I knocked on the door. And I said, honey, is everything okay? And I opened the door and I saw him masturbating to videos of you and Tammy. And I can't measure up to your guys' big boobs and amazing personalities. And you both are just so sexy. And I don't know what to do because now I just feel so inadequate. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I need advice. Should I leave him, Mrs. Crystal? Or should I stay and try to work this out? Because I feel so inadequate now. And I know it's my own insecurities, but I'm just not as gorgeous as you or Tammy, so I don't know what to do. Thank you so much. And I'm still a big fan of yours. No matter what, I will always love you. But thank you. Bye.
Wow. That was really sad. The crying got me. And I believe your name was Cade. Let me just check.
My name is Chase, and
It sounded like Cade. Cade, listen, I'm going to explain something to you. My beauty and Tammy's beauty transcends any other beauty. Now, you're going to have a gay man, a straight man, a lesbian, somebody who's asexual, are going to be attracted to me and Tammy's beauty. And that's just one of those things that people are going to have to accept. Does that mean that your relationship is a fraud? No. Just because a gay man is in the restroom jerking off to me and Tammy, that doesn't mean he's straight. That just means that me and Tammy turn him on. You can't look at me, you can't look at Tammy and not be turned on. It doesn't matter who you are. That has no impact on your beauty, how handsome you are, your worthiness as a human being. Just imagine it like he's watching any other corn. And I'm going to say corn. That's what they say on TikTok. Because the likelihood that he'll be in the same room with me or Tammy to try to make love to us is very slim. Now, depending on how hot he is and if I meet him in real life, that might be a different story. But I'm going to assume the likelihood of us meeting is going to be very slim. So there is nothing for you to worry about as far as him cheating. But the other issue, you feeling inadequate, that's your own insecurity. And you need to quit that right now. Stop doing that. Act right. Get your confidence back. Because, Cade, you are that bitch. I could tell in your voice. I could tell how hard you were crying that you really care for this boyfriend. So put it aside that he was doing what he was doing in the bathroom. Push past it and just say, hey, you know what? It's inevitable that he would do this. That's a trash can. You can't hear it, but I thought I'd talk about it. Thanks for calling, Cade. Please don't be so upset. You wouldn't believe how many men and women are doing the same thing as your boyfriend every day, maybe multiple times a day. Do not be upset. Now, if you catch him on the phone with a random guy doing phone sex, yeah, you're going to have a problem. Thanks for calling, honey. And thanks for being vulnerable. I know it's hard to call and say, you know, you feel like your boyfriend's cheating on you in the bathroom. The only suspicious thing to me is you guys were getting frisky and then he got up and left. That is a little bit concerning. So let me know how it goes.
I'm Crystal. My name is Kara. I was just wondering if you were transformed into a straight cat for the day, what would you do? Like,
I cannot understand. I don't know how many times I have to make it clear. If you are an alien, you cannot call into the voicemail. You have to do a different method of calling. For some reason, aliens' telephone lines don't work calling human telephone lines. I don't know if this is the second or third alien that has tried to call on the human line. I don't know if I need to make an alien voicemail. I don't even know how to do this. Maybe that's something that Aiden has to research. If you're an alien, do not call the human line because this is how it sounds.
I'm Crystal. My name is Kara. I was just wondering if you were...
I'm sorry. I think you said your name was Kara, which is cute name for an alien. Usually they have names like Zebdor and Beepy Bop. I'm sorry I can't understand you. Maybe write a letter. I don't know how y'all hold pencils because you just have you have the thumb and the two fingers. Find a different way to call me because I can't be having aliens call in because I only have a certain amount of calls I could take a day. And if you're an alien, don't call in the human line. But thanks for your call anyway.
Hi, Miss Crystal. This is Greg. We met up not too long ago. I recently this is awkward. I went to the urgent care and
Have I heard this call before?
I had a awful feeling down there. So I went to get tested and turns out that I have rigor mortis.
Whoops. Sorry, I had to start this over.
Hi,
I
Miss
accidentally.
Crystal. This is Greg. We met up not too long ago. I recently this is awkward. I went to the urgent care and I had a awful feeling down there. So I
Down where?
I went to get tested and turns out that I have rigor mortis of the peen. Rigor mortis of the penis. So I figured I call you and let you know, just in case you're having any issues. Didn't want to be an ass and just not say anything. But yeah, go get yourself tested. I'll talk to you later.
I'm assuming this is the Greg that I met. I was at a park a while ago, and there was a family reunion, and I didn't know the family, but I was hungry, so I kind of invaded their barbecue family reunion, and they kept saying, "Who are you again?" And I said, "It's me, Aunt Crystal." Anyway, there was a fellow there named Greg, and I really don't want to say what happened because there's some laws about public nudity and things like that. But at the time, I don't think you got the rigor mortis from me because rigor mortis had already set in to your peen at the time. And I don't know what else to say except you didn't get it from me, Greg. You got it from somebody else. And I'm not getting tested for nothing. You think I'm going to go down to my local health clinic and get tested and then everybody in there is going to be saying, "Oh, Miss Crystal had to come get tested again." I've already been there 3 times this month. I'm not going again, Greg. You got that rigor mortis from somebody else. But it was nice meeting you anyway, and thanks for calling, Greg.
Hi, Miss Crystal. So excited to call in. Big fan of the podcast program and your YouTube videos.
Thank you.
And mukbangs. Oh my goodness, I just love it all. My question for you is, would you add a Labubu to your figurine collection?
Ooh.
Or, feature one on your Figuring Out the Figurine segment? I just think they're, very cute, so much fun. But yeah, that's what I was curious about. So yeah, thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thanks for your call. As far as Labubus go, I don't know how to say this without sounding very old, but I don't get the whole Labubu thing. Growing up, I had Pet Rock. We had, different kind of cool things. We had the Cabbage Patch doll. Those things were cute. A Labubu, I just don't get the hype. And maybe it's because I don't have my own. But if I'm paying the price that I'm paying for a Labubu that everybody's paying, which is a lot, I'm not going to just hook it on my purse. I'm not going to put it on my backpack. I'm going to put it inside of a case, like a behind glass case. But if somebody would give me one, I would certainly feature it on Figure Out the Figurine, but I would make sure to say, hey, this thing ain't worth the money. You got ripped off. That's the thing with trends. Trends come and go. Trends start because one person says, hey, look at this dumb little thing. I'm going to hook it on my purse. And then somebody else says, hey, what's that thing? I want one of them on my purse. And then so on and so forth until something that's called inflation happens. And I'm not an economy guy. I'm not a political scientist. But I know if the demand goes up, the price is going up. And that's why I see people going around the corner in the mall, going into this one store that all they have is toys. And I said, what the hell they lined up for? And they said, oh, the Labubu. And I said, well, I got a Labubu between my pants. And the lady goes, what? I said, nothing. I was just making a joke. She said, what? I said, I was just making a joke, ma'am. But to answer your question, if I had one, I would do it. But I would also make the point that they're ridiculous. You mean to tell me if you had a choice between this and a Labubu, you'd pick a Labubu? Look at this. Handcrafted. A Labubu looks like it was made in a factory quickly. This is hand painted. All that gold, hand painted. A person did that. You ain't going to find that quality in a Labubu. Accidentally rang the bell. What does that mean? And with that, we have ended the voicemail segment. And we will move straight on to creation of the week. Crystal's creation of the week. Now, this creation was not made by me. This was made by my grandmother many years ago. And this is kind of what got me into creating. And this is so old that it has some discoloration on here. This is a purse or a pocketbook that has a doll on it. This accidentally got put into a box that had a Sharpie marker, and it got all over this little child's head and her finger, which is very upsetting. But imagine me as a child getting this purse and seeing this baby doll on the outside and just thinking, wow, that is cool. That little baby doll is wrapped up in a cute blanket. And when my grandmother gave this to me, I about lost my mind. Because I thought it was the cutest thing. Now, inside, there is a sock. A very dirty sock. And this sock has haunted me because this was... For some reason, this sock has been in here the whole time since I was a child. This was my sock when I was a child. And as you can see, I ran around with my shoes off a lot. And this haunts me. Because I thought, why didn't anyone make me put a shoe on? Why didn't someone say, hey, let's bleach that sock? Very disturbing. Nothing else is in there. I used to carry things like, toys or money and apparently dirty socks. Just imagine you're an adult and you find one of your childhood socks that is filthy. I know that we were hoarders when I was a child. I didn't know that till much later. But seeing this dirty sock has just confirmed, yeah, they're probably should have been taken away by CPS. Don't let your child walk around. I mean, I'm tempted to sniff it just to see if it's got the smell to it. But what a large foot, too, for a child. And it has on the side, it has a BB. And I remember, you see that? I remember these socks as a child. Could I wear this sock? No, I couldn't wear it now. My legs swell up too bad. But that is the first thing that I thought, I want to learn how to do that. I want to learn how to crochet so that I can make cool gifts for my friends and family. And I hate to say that my grandma is the one that inspired me to make my creations, because I don't want to give her any credit because she was a horrible person. I mean, let's just think about the time she made me the fake Cabbage Patch doll. As I mentioned, Cabbage Patch dolls were all the rage. And I wanted one for Christmas. Well, my grandma didn't buy me one, as all my other friends. My grandma made one. And it can only be described as a demonic monstrosity. The head normally should have been this big. It was this big, and it was made out of like a pantyhose. Like she took a pantyhose and stuffed it and tried to paint it to look like a Cabbage Patch doll. It had black hair, made of yarn. I didn't want a black-haired one. I wanted blonde hair or a preemie. I liked the preemie ones. They didn't have no hair. But this horrible black yarn and the worst outfit. I never forgave my grandmother for that. And you might say, you should appreciate what you got. No, because all my friends had real ones. I couldn't walk out of the house with a fake Cabbage Patch doll that was huge and clearly a knockoff. I mean, there's just some things you can't have a knockoff of. You can have a knockoff pair of Nikes. You can have a knockoff pair of Gitano jeans. But you're not walking out of the house with a fake Cabbage Patch doll on your hip. Many people's trauma is related to them getting beat or them getting yelled at. My trauma is related to having a fake Cabbage Patch doll. And every time I see a Cabbage Patch doll in the flea market, I want to buy it to try to heal my trauma. But that's it for the creation of the week. That's how it all started. I'm not going to put this on my website to sell, but I will put it so people can look at it. And I'm going to have somebody Photoshop this magic marker off. Will I put the sock on the internet? No, because that's disgusting. But that'll do it. That's man. A lot of complaining again today. Now I'm sorry about that. I'm not an unhappy person. I just like to complain, I guess. What about you, Safety Man? Yep, he likes to complain too. So we're going to wrap it up there today. We got some stuff to do, like go pee. And I hope you have a good week. And until I see you next week, may you be blessed beyond your comprehension. Amen. You thought I wasn't gonna sing a song, but I am. You thought I was gonna show my dong, but I'm not. It's time to say goodbye to me and Safety Man. It's time to say goodbye for the day. Goodbye, everyone. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.